O Diyos aming Ama, ang lahat ng nilalang ay marapat na sumamba sa iyo. Higit sa iyong mga biyaya, sinasamba ka namin dahil ikaw ay ikaw. Lumalapit kami sa iyo, dakilang tagapaglikha, nagsusumamo at humihingi ng kapatawaran. Kami ay nagkulang at nagkasala. Patawarin mo kami sa katigasan ng aming mga puso. Turuan mo kami at dalhin sa inyong kalooban. Tingnan mo kami ng may awa at kahabagan. Hilumin mo po ang aming bayan, ang aming mga mahal sa buhay, kaibigan, kapitbahay, karatig bayan, ganon din ang aming mga kaaway sa pandemyang kinahaharap namin sa COVID-19. Isama niyo na rin ang mga may sakit sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Panginoon, balutin mo kami ng inyong kaluwalhatian. Itago mo kami sa lilim ng inyong mga pakpak laban sa anumang kapahamakan o wala sa oras na kamatayan. Kristo, ang tinapay ng buhay, alalahanin niyo po ang mga namumuno sa aming bansa, ang mga ilaw at haligi ng bawat tahanan, at mga kawani na nagtatanggol sa aming seguridad at mga frontliners. Batid mo, Panginoon, ang mga dinaraanan at bawat ganap sa aming buhay. Espiritong Banal, aming tanggulan at gabay, imulat ang aming mga mata at ipakita si Jesus ang Panginoon at tagapagligtas, ang nag-iisang katotohanan at tanging daan tungo sa Ama. Wala nang iba. Purihin ka, O aming Diyos. Ang presensya mo ay tunay na biyaya ng aming buhay. Ito ang aming samot panalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus, Kordero ng Diyos na nag-aalis ng kasalanan ng mundo. Amen.
Walang kasing saya ang Paskong Pinoy. Dumaan man ang problema at pandemya, kayang-kayang lampasan. Basta't nagdadamayan at nagmamahalan.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Tuloy na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko dito sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. Samahan na natin si Atty. Joy at DJ Gaur sa pagpapaunlad ng kalusugan sa katawan, isipan at espiritual. Ito ang Gopalakas! Gopalakas! Dito lang yan sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Katawan, mapayapang isipan, Gopalakas.
malinis na paligid, mabuting kalooban. Gopalakas, hangat na maglingkod sa kapwa't kaibigan. Gopalakas, alagaan natin si Inang Kalikasan. Kalinga na totoo sa kalikasan at kapwa-tao. Di sa buhay natin ito. Gopala, Gopala, Kalusugan, pangkalikasan. Gopalakas.
Alright, so magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Ayan. Welcome back again sa ating Gopalakas radio program dito sa V81 Radio. So, kamusta naman po kayo? Panibagong Sabado na naman po. Ayan. Ayos ba ang ating bagong track? Actually, hindi naman siya bagong track, pero bagong pinapatugtog dito sa ating station. Pero anyway, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat, and sana okay kayo, sana nasa mabuting kalagayan kayo, and sana nakapag-breakfast na kayo. So anyway, panibagong Sabado na naman po tayo at panibagong pag-uusapan. Pero anyways, itong pag-uusapan natin, mamaya na yan. Bago tayo magsimula sa ating usapin, gusto ko munang tawagin ang aking co-anchor na si Atty. Jai. So magandang
Kung kailan ako babatiin ng magandang umaga, saka na po to. Good morning, Gaur. Good morning to all of our viewers. Mukhang hindi pa nga naka-breakfast yung mga viewers natin dahil wala pang naka-tune in. Si Francis Mina pa lang naka-tune in from Facebook. Good morning, Francis. Thank you for tuning in every Saturday. At yung mga nakikinig dyan, ang ating mga ghost viewers, i-share nyo na to at igisingin nyo ang inyong mga family members at inyong mga friends.
Yes.
Manood at dahil special episode to. No? Hindi ba, Gaur?
Yan. Siyempre sa ating episode na to, siyempre nais ko munang kuhanin yung opportunity na magpasalamat sa V81 Radio, siyempre kila Sir Rally, Sir Rolly, sa Talk Shop Asian, sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa ating programa. And siyempre sa ating mga OFWs, and siyempre sa ating mga viewers and listeners. Sobrang thank you. So anyway, ang ating pag-uusapan ngayong umaga, pakita na natin yan. Yan ang happiness for life. Ayan. Ang nakalagay dito sa happiness in life. Pero maliit na lang naman yan. happiness for life.
In life.
Ayan. Yes.
Tama rin naman.
naman.
Happiness in life for life. Ayun. Ganun dapat.
Oo. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ang ating mga guest, tayo yan. So, pagsasaluhan natin, kasi ganito yan malapit na magpasko, alam niyo naman, daman-daman na rin natin ang simoy ng hangin, no? So,
right.
Marami mang nangyayari sa ating paligid, pero syempre tuloy-tuloy lang ang kaligayahan. So, nais namin ito ipamahagi sa inyo. Tama ba, Atty. Jai?
Tamang-tama.
Mm-hmm.
Yung theme kasi ng may pumapasok sa studio natin May pumapasok sa studio natin habang live ang theme kasi ngayon, the reason why ang tayong mga program hosts ang magiging parang we're guesting ourselves. Hindi naman ganon. We're just trying to interact with our viewers in a way that has never been done before. Kasi before, the show format was that mag-guest tayo ng tao, tapos pag-uusapan lang natin yung topics na napag-sharean ng guest. This time, we would like to interact with our viewers directly. Lalo na dahil Christmas nga, we'd like to let our viewers know, get to know us, and we'd like to interact with our viewers also more. So, technically, ang guest for this week ay ang viewers. Diba?
So, at
sana
meron pa tayo isa pang makakasama, diba? So, syempre, mostly every Saturday nagbibigay siya sa atin ng news and updates. Pero ngayon talaga makakasama natin siya sa talakayan ng happiness o kaligayahan. So walang iba, Imbitahan na ba natin? Tawagin na ba natin?
Wag muna,
Tawagin
hindi ko pa trip eh. Ayoko pa. Biro
Tawagin
lang.
na natin ang ating kaisa-isahang Teka, relax. Nasobra naman ang kaligayahan. Tawagin na po natin ang kaisa-isahang nag-update sa atin sa news and updates. Tama ba yun? Tawagin
Na
natin
walang
si
news
Ate
and
Chandra.
update this week. Si Ate
Oo.
Chandra, ang always
Bibigyan
fresh.
naman tayo
na
ng
Ate
ng
Chandra.
kaligayahan. Ayan. Magandang umaga, Ate Chandra.
Magandang umaga, Gaur, at saka Attorney Jaiba. Ang saya-saya mo this morning, Gaur, ha? Nakakahawa ang iyong
Christmas
ano
spirit.
ba? Oo, Oo, damang-dama na ni Gaur yan eh.
Yeah.
At
Ah.
Attorney Jan, sa inyo, kamusta naman ba?
Okay
Feel
naman,
mo
okay
rin ba
naman.
ang Pasko?
Yes, everyone's putting up trees, putting those little antlers on their cars. Doesn't really make sense to me, pero I guess it's cute. Sana lang
Para lang,
nire-reuse nyo, no? Para hindi kayo nagsasayang. Oh, anyway, go ahead.
Totoo yan. Lagi natin pinag-uusapan yan dito sa show, no? Yung importance of
Yes.
maximizing the resources that we have and not having to parang reuse things or
Yeah.
throw and use. Kumbaga, let's reuse them. Kagaya nga ng
Naging
sinabi.
environmental yung topic natin today. Dapat happiness.
Talaga,
siya.
ano eh.
Yeah.
Connected ng environment sa ating happiness na Attorney
Oo.
Jai, di ba?
Of
Ilang
course.
beses na rin natin yung tinalakay dito sa ating show. Pero sige, balik na tayo doon sa ating main topic, which is happiness. And
Ayan, Ate
syempre,
Chandra.
we want to
Simulan
make
mo
our
na.
viewers we want to greet our viewers first. Allow me also, alam ko na bati ninyo na,
Yes.
pero I'd like to greet our viewers a happy morning. Okay, a happy Saturday. And hopefully with this episode, we'll be able to give or share some insights of how we, personally also relate to happiness and experience happiness. And hopefully this can also inspire our viewers.
Right.
Diba, Attorney?
Exactly.
So,
Go ahead.
ano ba ang
Go ahead,
ibig sabihin ng
Ate
happiness, Attorney? Ayan, ikaw ang expert.
Right. Okay. But sige. Before that, we'll go into the discussion on happiness. No, we'll make it like a synthesis of all our episodes so far, but also try to provide new insights on what we think happiness for life is, or happiness in life is, according to Gaur's program poster. Naka naman, Gaur. We would like to post this question to our viewers. I know we have 10 live viewers now. So sa inyong 10 at sa inyong mga gigisingin na family members at friends para manood ng Gopalakas, o 11 na, what is happiness to you? Or ano yung question mo, Ate Chandra? When
What
are
makes
you
you happy?
what makes you happy? What makes you happy? So if you would see, pa-flash natin yung hotline ng Gopalakas online. You can answer this question live on air, or you can comment it on the social media platforms we are live in right now. I think that's YouTube, Facebook, and StreamYard.
Yeah.
What makes you most happy? Ano yung question? What is happiness to you? What is happiness to you? Okay, all right. So what before sana may tumawag mamaya, no? Pero before anyone calls in, what is happiness to you? Happiness to me is that innate feeling or innate sense of purpose. Because I've gone through some things in life, lalo na I'd like to highlight the most extreme experiences, na lalo na yung katulad ng bar exam, extreme anxiety, extreme stress, and then it changed into extreme happiness when kung kailan nung nalaman na pasado na, no?
Andun yung pangalan mo.
Right. So, but my parents and my mentors throughout my life have taught me that there will always be these points in life. You will go really far down and you will go really far up. And I've never experienced this variance as much in the shortest amount of time possible as when I was waiting for the bar exam. talagang sobrang stress, sobrang baba, talaga sobrang parang, oh my God, bad. Tapos nung nalaman na, boom, biglang sobrang taas, diba? So, at that point, it kept recurring to me, It kept recurring to me at that point, the words of my parents and my mentors. There will always be that variance. But if your happiness is innate, meaning it comes from within, then that variance does not even affect you. Going down, going up, it's the same.
Ganda nun.
Diba? It's the same. And innate happiness, where does that ultimately come from? You can't make yourself happy. Diba? Pwedeng happiness comes from you. For me, happiness comes from my relationship with God. I know we have discussed many times in the show that the views of this program are not sectarian in nature. We do not particularly adhere to any specific definition of God. Whatever your relationship with God is, I have my own, and my relationship with God was the source of my happiness. At that point, I just prayed. Sabi ko, Lord, kung ano man yung gusto mo mangyari sa akin, whatever you may wish to happen to me at this point, let it happen and grant me the strength to realize that it is your will. Yun lang yung prayer ko.
Nice. That's so nice, attorney.
Right. So that's what happiness in this short amount of time. I can't really keep going on a tangent here, pero that little tidbit of my life is where I would illustrate, the variance of happiness and where I found true happiness.
Yes.
Sana naman na that wasn't too off.
No. Ang ganda nga na sinabi mo eh.
Ganda sinabi mo. Napagano na ako eh. Yan, ganda.
Right.
Sobrang thank you sa pag-share nun.
Eh, tama yung sinabi mo, attorney, na yun nga all the effort that we do, all right, in living, all right, or in whatever that we want to achieve in life, we just have to make that effort. The efforts are ours, but the results are up to Him. And that, knowing that, all right, takes off a lot of anxiety from a lot of things, from life in general, takes out a lot of stresses, diba? Kasi
Right.
na at the end of the day, yun nga, kung anong gusto niya or anong will niya, then that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Diba? So that's why that really resonated with me, attorney. And yeah, just like what's happening with us right now, diba? This current situation of the pandemic and all, I mean, it's not something that we all want. Okay, but it is there, it is happening, and through this show, through Gopalakas, we have tried to share our own experiences and share with our viewers how to maintain that sense of balance or sense of well-being despite what is happening around us through what the different subjects that we have been talking about and culminating now in
Right.
happiness.
Right. Ate Chandra, are we taking callers now? Somebody called me kasi.
Oh yeah, all right.
Are we taking
Sige,
callers
sige.
now or are we
Entertain
putting it
natin.
on
Let's do that.
for
Let's do
later?
that.
Okay.
All right.
Sige.
Hello, viewer. Good morning. Thank you for calling into the show. You are live now on V81 Radio, Gopalakas program, 10 a.m., your premium health and wellness show. Our question today is, when are you most happy or what makes you the most happy? Kamusta? Hello? Hello, yes, good morning. Sino kausap ko ngayon?
Si Raymond po ito from right now nasa Tabaco, Bicol po.
Bicol, Raymond. Hello, good morning, Raymond.
Good morning po, Atty. Jai.
Good morning. Thank you for watching the show. Alam ko maaga to para sa inyo. Pero may sagot.
Tanghali na po dito.
Tanghali na pala.
Dito, mga 9, tulog na.
Ganun ba?
Sa
Alright,
probinsya
alright.
yan, attorney eh. Sa Maynila
Sa
lang yung late.
Yeah. Alright. So, may sagot ka ba sa aming question? What is happiness to you or when are you most happy?
Atty. Jai, share ko na lang po yung experience namin dito.
Sige,
And,
sure.
Typhoon Rolly. Yung nag-hit po dito yung Typhoon Rolly.
kasama po kayo doon sa mga
Advice sila
nadamay
eh,
doon
oo.
sa sa typhoon.
Opo,
Mhm.
Atty. Jai.
Mhm.
Actually, kami po ng wife ko, nagkaroon kami ng realization.
Mhm.
Kasi bago po dumating yung Rolly, actually, a week before or 2 weeks before, we came from Manila.
Okay.
Actually.
Lumipat kayo ng Bicol.
Opo.
Ah.
Kasi pregnant na po si Mrs.
Koy,
Kailangan
congrats.
na maging komportable.
Mhm.
Opo, thank you po.
Mhm.
Ayun, isa po yun na naging source of happiness ko dahil kasi lahat naman po siguro na nagpo-family,
Mhm.
di ba, gusto magkaroon ng baby.
Yes.
Opo. Ngayon, nagkaroon po kami ng blessing na magkaroon ng baby.
Mhm.
And now, since pandemic po, and ako po actually, by profession, I'm a videographer po. So, sa mga
Okay.
event, so sa Manila po, wala na po talaga kasi nag-down ng event. So,
Wala nga,
nag-decide talaga kami na para makatipid din na mag-move po ng Bicol.
Okay.
Thinking na will be more secured and live peacefully. Kasi nga, iwas sa ingay.
Oo nga. Simple lang yung buhay, dapat.
Opo. And then, ayun nga, yung happiness ba na feeling na you're going to be a father and you'll be somehow na maging secured ka financially kasi dito po sa probinsya, mas matipid ang pamumuhay.
Tama.
At meron pa rin pong nakakain. At meron kaming bubong.
Sagana.
Especially.
Right.
Ayan.
Okay ang buhay, no?
Bahay na
Oo.
natutuluyan.
Mm-mm.
And then po, nung dumating po yung Typhoon Rolly, since ako po kasi, yung misis ko po ang taga rito talaga sa Bicol.
Okay.
Ako po talaga, tawag ko, city rat. Laking Manila lang talaga ako.
Ganun ba? Okay.
Pag bumibisita po kami dito, actually, yung signal number 2,
Okay.
parang sobrang lakas na sa akin.
Talaga.
Hindi
Yung bagyo.
sanay.
Kasi, malakas yung hangin, ganyan.
Oo.
Malakas yung ulan.
Oo.
And then, nung nag-announce po yung pag-asa na signal number 5, medyo, siyempre, anxiety po talaga eh. Talagang
Anxiety, no?
stress.
Paano mo nahanap ngayon ng happiness nun?
Wala pong happiness nun sa tingin ko.
Oo, syempre.
Pero,
Mahirap. Oo.
Opo. Ang pinaka-concern lang namin is yung safety namin at yung mga gamit na ginagamit ni Missy sa work niya. Kasi work from home na rin po siya.
Tama.
Ang ginawa po namin ay medyo nakakatawa rin po. Signal number 5 po kasi yung typhoon. So ginawa namin, kinover namin yung ng plastic, yung mga gamit dito, ng appliances, yung mga computers,
Okay.
everything. And then, around 6 a.m. nag-start na po yung typhoon. Di na rin kami makatulog kasi
Ang ingay, malakas
natin na
yan.
rin namin talaga yung dating niya.
Oo,
Baka may mangyari din kasi hindi maganda.
Tama.
Pero hindi namin talaga in-expect yung mangyayari po.
No
Na ganun
one's
kalakas.
expecting it. Grabe.
Opo. Around 7 to 8 a.m. Biglang may malakas na sound na galing sa bubong.
Natanggal?
Ano po yung kisame? And yung nag-hit, may tumama pong kahoy, puno po dun sa bubong namin. Yun po yung nag-cause na tatanggal yung bubong.
Okay. Tatamaan.
Opo. Zero visibility po sa labas. Talagang wala.
Malakas talaga.
Kita mo lang talaga yung mga lumilipad na yero, mga kahoy.
Oo. Wow.
Tapos yung para ka pong nasa, ako, para ka nasa aeroplano na
Ganong kalakas.
pagpalipad na siya.
Oo, oo.
Wow.
Hindi ka talaga sa, sa
Oh.
lakas.
Mm-mm.
I can imagine. Dito lang, maingay na eh. Ano pa sa kanila?
Tanggal na po yung bubong. Yung mga gamit namin, ayun, nabasa po siya.
Oo,
Lahat po actually na gamit na nasa loob ng bahay,
sira.
hindi po kinaya ng plastic kasi
Oo.
malakas po yung hangin, pumapasok sa loob. Yung
Mm.
mga bintana, nagkabasag-basag na rin po.
Mm-mm.
And yung bahay po talaga umaalog.
Hanep, ano?
Yung bahay po namin, bahay po dito,
Oo.
gawa po sa semento to, hindi po parang
Semento na yan, ha?
Opo,
Oo.
Opo. Talagang napatulala po talaga ako. I mean, kung ano nangyayari. Buti
Oo.
na lang po si tatay, medyo sanay na siya sa mga bagyo.
Oo.
Pero sabi rin niya na first time po talaga na ito yung pinakamalakas na bagyo na na-experience niya.
Mm-mm. Lakas, ano?
And then, opo, kami po ni Mrs.
Mm.
Nga po, tinatry kong kalmahin siya and siya rin po, tinatry niyang kalmahin sarili niya.
Mhm.
Dahil nga po, kasama po sa pregnant, ma-stress, di ba?
Oh, buntis pa yung misis nyo, no? Oo.
Opo, 4 months po, 4 months.
4 months. Tapos natamaan pa kayo
Opo.
ng... Oh. Oh. Ano nangyari
So,
pagkatapos?
pumunta po.
Ano nangyari pagkatapos ng bagyo? Di natamaan lahat, no?
During po yung nag-hit yung, nagtagal po siya ng mga around 6 hours. And during that, ano po talaga malaking pasalamat ko po sa inyo, sa program nyo, sa Gopalakas. Na-apply po namin yung yung meditation.
Wow, talaga ho.
Opo. Nag-chant kami po ng mga pangalan ni God. At,
Oo.
kasi po, parang yun nga po yung realization namin. We can be happy, di ba? Parang externally,
Oo.
material things, and relationship, and politics. Parang parang any moment, pwede siyang mawala .
Tama. Wow.
Wala. Oo.
Laking pasalamat namin sa inyo, no? Na na-apply nyo yung mga na-share dito sa
Thank you
show.
po sa inyo.
Salamat.
And, yun nga po,
Oh, go ahead.
yung shelter from the storm, yun po yung holy names . Yun talaga po yung wala ka nang ibang makukuha na ng shelter.
Oh, lahat na sira, no? Bahay nyo, lahat ng gamit nyo.
Opo.
Oh, tapos buntis pa si Mrs.
Yung shelter mo lang talaga is yung relationship mo sa kanya. Kasi di po ba, by nature, spiritual siya.
Oo.
At hindi siya beyond po talaga siya, beyond matter. Ay nagre-relate po siya si God sa ating papuso .
Oo.
Kaya po kami ni Mrs. Nagdasal lang po kami, nagdasal.
Doon nyo nahanap ang inyong happiness sa dasal.
Opo, sir.
Mm.
And yung happiness nga po within na ipoprotekta niya and no matter what. And mag-take shelter lang po sa pangalan niya.
Wow.
Kaya po, thankfully na nakalipat kami sa yung kabilang bahay po kasi yung sa brother naman niya.
Mhm.
Dun, nakalipat po kami in the midst of the typhoon. Nakatawid kami. Ayun nga. And then, continuous po yung pag-chant namin with family. And yun po yung talaga nakatulong para ma-relax kami ba hindi kami masyadong maapektuhan ng mga nangyayari po.
Tama.
And until right now po, actually, yung recovering po namin, wala pong kuryente, walang internet.
Well.
Kumbaga po,
Oo.
yun na rin po yung namin, habang nagpapatuyo po ng mga gamit, yung mga nagtatago ng mga sirang bagay.
Oo.
Hindi po talaga maalis sa isang araw na magka-chant kami. At yun po yung parang maging shelter namin at happiness.
Well, nagpapasalamat din kami dito sa Gopalakas na kayo ay safe at kung makatulong kami at in any way at I'm sure ang ating mga viewers gusto rin makatulong. Nakatulong lang. Well, happy kami na nakatulong ang aming programa sa inyo. Salamat po sa sharing sa story nyo, no. Napaka-inspiring, napaka-inspiring na ipapagtuloy namin ang programa nito. Salamat Raymond, salamat sa pagtawag. Sana safe kayo diyan.
Ingat sila.
Ingat kayo.
Shout out daw kay DJ Gaur. Hindi
Shout out kay Raymond. Yeah. Thank you.
Sige. All right, thank you. Thank you Raymond. Thank you for
And kay
calling.
Rose, yung kanyang asawa.
Salamat din sa
Hello,
asawa
Rose.
ninyo. Sana mabuti kayo, sana safe kayo lagi.
Alright.
All right.
Alright.
Hanep, first caller pa lang. First caller pa lang.
Ayun.
Ang ganda nun. Oo,
Napakaganda.
Pero
sobrang
bigat,
nun.
bigat na pinagdaanan na.
Oo, sobrang
Pero
bigat.
nakakataba ng puso na pagdaanan nila yung ganong klaseng kalamidad. They were in the middle of such a terrible situation. Pero ang nasabi nila sa atin,
natin, no?
nagpasalamat sila sa atin dahil sa ating programa.
Oo.
Hanep.
Nakakataba ng puso.
Speechless. Oo.
Yes.
It's much of the same thing, no? Kasi
Yeah.
yung calamities, these are the really, really far lows that you can experience in life. You imagine mo yun, buntis yung asawa mo, tapos nasiraan ka.
Yeah.
Lahat parang yung bahay mo nasira. You'd think na concrete siya, buong buo. Wala, nasira rin. Saan sila nag-shelter, di ba? Hanep.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait.
Naghanap sila ng shelter na hindi dito, attorney, hindi sa bahay
yes.
nila, hindi sa external na meron sila kundi sa loob nila.
Yes.
Napakaganda.
So, we'll keep our lines open, no, sa ating mga viewers na gustong tumawag. Tawag lang kayo, pero we'll still talk about this topic. But I'd like to take this opportunity to greet ang ating mga viewers on Facebook. Lali Rose says good morning. Dixie says good morning. Alexandra says good morning and happy Thanksgiving, Gopalakas. Happy Thanksgiving nga pala ngayon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Give thanks for happiness that we share on this program. Naka naman, no?
Thank you.
To Tiger Neil Hindang. Nice one, mate. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Meron ba tayo sa, StreamYard? Ananda ngo says,
Ayan.
watching from Zambales. Oh, may caller pa tayo?
May caller na tayo, Attorney Jai. Somebody's
Alright.
calling me. Let me just answer this.
Bring him on.
Alright.
Okay, hello?
Hello. Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga sa iyo.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
calling in to the Gopalakas radio show. Introduce yourself to our viewers and please let us know what is your response to our question. What makes you happy?
Hello po, magandang umaga. Ako po si Lali. Palagi nagsusubaybay sa inyong programa.
Nax.
At,
Thank you so much.
Nakakapagsasaya sa akin ay ang pagluluto. Siyempre, kasi ayun ang aking passion sa buhay, ang pagluluto.
So chef po kayo.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yes, so ang aking pinakamunting happiness sa buhay ay pag pinaglulutuan ko ang mga ibang tao ng masasarap na pagkain.
Okay. And
Yun.
you ano
Baka
naman
meron
yung,
dyan.
saan ka naman nagluluto? Oo nga, baka meron ka. Share
Baka meron ka dyan gusto ibahagi sa ating programa.
Dito, actually, sa isang restaurant ako nagtatrabaho. So, nabibigyan naman ako ng chance magluto paminsan-minsan dito. Pag pinapayagan nila ako. Palagi naman ako nagluluto dito. So, isang simpleng kasiyahan ko is pag nakikita kong masaya at nasasarapan naman ang mga tao sa luto ko.
Okay, alright.
Simple lang, no?
Sorry,
Simple
go ahead.
lang, no?
Happiness
Happiness in
sa
cooking.
programang Good Food Program rin sa Gopalakas, marami ako natutunan na posibilidad na hindi lang dapat pagkain pang tao o pang kalusugan ang iisipin, siyempre ang pagkain para sa isip at katawan din, which is yung mga pag-aaralan ko sa inyong programa. Yes.
Nice. Good food. Shout out sa good
Tapos
food.
meron rin may mga good values na sinishare palagi si Miss Sophie. So, sa trabaho ko, sa araw-araw kong trabaho ay ina-apply ko na rin paunti-unti ang mga napag-aralan ko sa Gopalakas program.
Galing,
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Chef
for
Lali,
calling.
for sharing that. Marami daw siyang nakakataba sa kanyang isipan, yung mga tinuturo ni Tita Sophie. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Have a
thank
good
you.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, simple lang, no? Stark contrast naman.
Ayun,
You just
diba?
post
Sa kanya
na-
naman, nahilig siyang magpakain. Oo.
Tapos?
Sorry,
Oh,
mahilig
wait.
siya magpakain at magpataba na ibang tao.
Papadala rin
Yun ang
yata sa atin
happiness
yan
niya.
Oo.
Ah.
Shout
Oo,
out sa'yo.
oo, ayaw mo magre-request tayo.
Dapat
Pero na-mention niya na nakakapagpataba rin sa kanya in terms of puso, isipan at puso, yung mga values nga na natututunan niya sa ating show.
Yes.
Siyempre, nandiyan na rin yung mga recipes nila, Chris at Nimay. Pero sinabi, na-mention niya rin yung meditation na nakakatulong rin sa kanya.
Yes. Galing, no? You can see how happiness is relative in that for each person, they find happiness in the little things. Tapos yung unang caller natin, medyo mabigat yung pinagdaanan nila, no? Pero they found happiness in meditation, no? Ito naman, simple lang yung kagustuhan niya. Na parang sa pagluluto, she finds happiness there, finds happiness in feeding people. Tapos na-i-apply niya rin ng ating show. Just shows how wide our show, the spectrum of our show is, no? Meron tayong na-inspire na chef, meron tayong na-inspire na mga listeners na taga Bicol, videographer yata yung unang tumawag, no?
Oo.
So,
Yes,
all
taga Maynila siya,
parang
ang asawa niya yung
programa
taga
din
Bicol.
Oo. Tama. Over on Facebook, I'd like to greet my pinsan from California. Hi, Jai and Gopalakas crew, sending our best from California.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you for
Ingat kayo
tuning
dyan
in,
lagi.
Rose. Right.
Balita
So-
ko may isa pang gustong tumawag.
Okay.
Patawagin na ba natin yan?
Saan ba nag-message?
Yes, actually
Nag-message na
nag-miss
sa'yo,
call na
Gaur?
siya, pero teka lang ha.
Alright.
Tumawag siya sa akin, Attorney Jai.
Okay, tumawag na.
Ayun. Wait lang ha. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, magandang umaga. This is the Gopalakas radio program that you're calling in. Sino
Yes.
po ito?
Good morning. Ako si Dixie. Hello.
Morning,
Hello
Dixie.
sa Gopalakas.
Hello, good morning, Dixie.
Naririnig
Oh,
niyo ba siya?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear her. Pero,
I
anong
can hear you.
what's her
Naririnig kita.
answer?
So, Dixie, tell us a little about yourself and what is your response or yung sharing mo with regards to our question, what makes you happy?
Yeah. Ako si Dixie from La Union at isa akong community acupuncturist and currently I'm helping sa humanitarian work, more specifically sa advancing people's mental health dito sa aming lugar dito sa La Union.
Oh,
So, I'm a community acupuncturist. So, with regards to sa question na, paano ako nagiging masaya or what
Yes.
makes me happy.
Yes.
Ang isa siguro sa pinakamalaking bagay na nagpapasaya sa akin is, yung giving back to the community. Yung nagkakaroon ako ng oras para maging productive sa pamamagitan ng pagtulong sa komunidad through acupuncture. And of course, I'm learning din meditation through this program. So I'm also adding that practice dun sa pagbibigay ko ng acupuncture sa community.
Wow.
Besides
galing.
acupuncture, I'm also teaching meditation. So that makes parang complete package. Pagtulong sa kapwa. So merong help para sa physical na katawan. So natutulungan din yung ibang tao through meditation. for their emotional, spiritual, mental well-being. So, ayun. Mas masaya kapag nakakatulong sa kapwa. Yung sinasabi nga nila na nakakataba ng puso. Sasabayan kay sinabi ng isang caller, nakakataba ng puso kapag nakita natin na nakakatulong tayo sa kapwa.
Alright. Napakaganda ng shinare mo, Dixie. Thank you so much. Nakakataba talaga ng puso yung mga iba't ibang activities na ginagawa. Like for you also, thank you for your community service that you are doing. And whenever we engage or whenever we do things for others, parang mas yun yung talagang sa puso no. Parang it gives us that kind of different kind of happiness. Yung sa chef kanina, sa pagkain, yun yung kanyang service, yung pagpakain, and yung sa'yo naman yung through your acupuncture. Oo. Ang papayat naman yung sa'yo.
Masaya siyang
The kind of acupuncture that we're giving to people is more on mental, spiritual, emotional health.
Overall well-being yung
overall wellness.
All right. Maraming salamat and thank you for tuning in and for being a part of the show today, this morning.
Yes, thank you. More power sa
Thank you po,
Salamat.
Ate Dixie.
Ate Dixie, thank you.
Pagsubaybay sa ating programa.
Galing. Oh, full circle na tayo. We went full circle. Meron na tayong paano ba 'yon? Victim. Hindi, yung mga naapektuhan ng kalamidad. Meron na tayong chef. Meron pa tayong acupuncturist na volunteer. Hanep. And how they apply happiness has a common trend, di ba? May common trend ang application nila ng happiness. Volunteerism, happiness from within, happiness in serving others. Katulad ni chef, yung second caller natin. No? So, it's all happiness from within, di ba?
Yes, oo. Kasi nga naman, kagaya na sinabi mo rin, attorney, di ba? When you were faced with the parang very lowest of your low and or highest of your high, what stays constant is how you react or how you feel within.
Yes.
Kasi nga, how the happiness that or the pleasure that we sometimes may experience they're two different kinds. Di ba? One yung temporary, yung sabi nga ni Gaur, pleasure, all right? Which is, passing. It's a sensual
Passing
pleasure.
siya.
Oy, masarap yung nakain.
Pang-gratification
Or
siya,
maganda yung
no?
napanood.
Oo.
Oo. Diba? So, passing siya. So, temporary siya. And also, may kapalit siya lagi or may kasamang suffering. For example,
Dualities,
di ba
no?
nakikita mo yung mga pictures sa Instagram, nag-travel sila, bumunta silang Boracay, napakasaya, di ba? Pero hindi natin nakikita or may
Yung behind the
napapagdaanan ng
scenes.
tao, yung hirap.
Oo.
Yes, yung behind the scenes, yung pangpunta doon, delayed yung
Yes.
flight,
Oo.
ayaw umandar ng barko, alam mo yon. So, that kind of happiness also comes with suffering. So, because it's temporary and it comes with suffering, may kapalit or may kasama lagi, syempre hindi siya fully satisfying sa atin. Hindi siya fully satisfying sa ating puso. Kasi, and sabi, yung sa sample naman ni Raymond, it could be externally like taken all away from you in one go, like what happened to him, di ba? But if you are from within, finding a different kind of shelter, like what he did, or finding a different kind of happiness, and the happiness that we're talking about is not just the experience of sadness, or the opposite, not just the opposite of sadness, but rather something that is real and lasting, and that is the most important, finding it from within.
Tama.
Yes. And
So,
di ba yung happiness dito sa mundo, talagang passing yan eh. Di ba? Kahit sabihin mong narating mo na yung highest mo dito, achievement mo, it's all passing, it's all temporary.
Yes.
But when you have the happiness within, that is our true nature, that is innate sa atin. Kahit
Eternal.
ano man yung napagdadaanan nating face sa buhay dito sa mundo, meron tayong shelter gaya nga ng ginagawa nila Raymond, di ba? Napakagandang story nun.
Tama. And hopefully for the rest of our viewers, you can take similar inspiration from our program.
Yes.
Lagi namin sinasabi na these are not just, flowery words when we talk about these concepts,
Yes,
no?
these are not flower
Parang
words.
may kita niyo na rin na apply din ng ating mga viewers and listeners.
Yes.
Nakakataba talaga ng puso. It just makes it very real when you're here, like behind the scenes, no, nakipag-usap tayo, it's all virtual eh. Pero when you hear it actually applied to our viewers' lives, hanep. I'm still processing it now. Pero I don't think we have time to process, no?
Yeah.
Do we still have time? Wait, bati muna Prasadam Green Selections,
Yes.
Prasadam Green Selections from Legazpi City, Albay.
Or
Alam mo,
from
kumain ako dyan.
Albay.
Sarap yan. Bumisita ako dyan pero wala yung mga
Parang
owners,
gusto
so hindi
ko
ko
yan.
nabate. Magpadala kayo dito. Lalamove, abot
Pero I
yata
hope
ng
okay
Albay.
sila, no? Pero hindi ba sila naapektuhan rin? Sa Albay rin yun.
Ah,
Sana
talaga?
okay sila. Sana
Nag-joke
okay
pa ako.
sila. Oo.
Oo.
Sana okay kayo.
Oo.
Ah,
Speaking
Kasama
of
yan
nawala
sana
na
okay
isip ko.
kayo, Atty. Jai,
I-greet ko
Ate
lang.
Chandra. Sige po. Go lang.
Yes.
Medyo delay yata yung net
Isang
niyo,
greeting
Ate
lang. Diyan
Chandra, but go
nagkita ko
ahead.
naglago
Alright.
ng aking kaibigan. Hello, Piang. Thanks for tuning in.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
So yun, speaking of okay ka lang, bago tayo magtapos, gusto ko sana i-promote yung aking upcoming release.
Ano yan, Gaur?
Kasi
Kanta?
connected din
Go!
siya. Oo. Connected din siya actually sa ating ating topic na happiness. 'Di ba? Dito sa kanta na to, parang nangangamusta siya. So pwede ba natin pakita yung album cover natin? Ayan. So mare-release siya sa December 11, no, sa Spotify and other digital stores. So ini-invite ko kayo about rin siya about happiness, no. Ito naman itong klaseng happiness na to na we are longing for. Syempre lahat naman tayo gusto natin ng eternal happiness. But sometimes we want to taste other kinds of happiness, other kinds na akala natin magbibigay ng kaligayahan sa atin.
Okay.
So hindi tayo talaga masaya. Ayan.
Okay.
So sana maano nyo
10 seconds, sample.
gusto nyo ba sample? Sige,
10
sample na
seconds.
natin yan.
Yes,
Dahil
yes,
ubos na yung
Gaur.
oras,
Ito na.
sampulan mo.
Ito na,
ready
ito
pa.
na. Yung chorus, minus one yan.
Ready.
Hindi.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hindi ka mapayapa, kitang-kita sa iyong mga mata, lingkod sa likod ng iyong mga ngiting nag-aakalang nakararanas na ng tunay na ligaya. Kamusta ka na? So sana okay lang kayo dyan.
Okay naman,
Yeah.
Gaur. Galing.
So yun lang naman siya. So
Galing.
sana
Nice.
magustuhan nyo. And yun nga, ito naman about relationship, no? Kasi sometimes we think na hindi tayo minsan nasasatisfy sa isang lugar di ba? Parang gusto natin pang maghanap ng ibang experience. But knowing that ganun talaga dito sa mundo, walang perfect situation.
Yes.
Yeah? Walang perfect situation dito sa mundo. Ang perfect situation lang dito sa mundo ay yung mailagay natin yung sarili natin sa kung taga saan talaga tayo, kung ano yung true nature natin. No, which is
Lalim
the
ng Gaur,
happiness from within. So, yun yung hugot ng kanta na yan. So, sana magustuhan nyo.
Nice,
Ayan,
nice.
Kaya
Alright.
naisip ko lang, since related siya sa topic natin,
I-plug mo na rin.
Oo.
Nice.
So, sana magustuhan nyo, guys. Ayan.
Kailan ang labas yan, Gaur?
December 11.
11. Oh, so abangan nyo
Abangan
yan.
nyo po yan, ha?
Follow nyo yung page ni DJ Gaur for the
Yes.
launch.
Ivy Villamor, hello from Makati. Hello, Ivy. Thank you for tuning in. At this point, I think we have to take a break before we
Yes.
proceed to our next segment. Or magbe-break pa ba tayo? May time pa ba
Oo.
tayo mag-break?
Short break lang. Or gusto niyo
Oh,
na
sige.
introduce na natin sila Tito Toby?
Tara!
Yeah?
Game na.
Okay, sige,
Huwag
game.
na yung Oh, yan.
Alright. Let's proceed to our next segment na which madadagdagan pa yung ating kasiyahan dahil meron silang ipapamahagi sa atin tungkol sa kaligayahan. So wag na po natin patagalin ang Living Wise with Tito Toby, Tita Socorro, and Tita Marisa.
Wow, hanap yung intro mo, bro.
Yes.
Play natin yung intro.
Ay, nako. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Good morning, everybody.
Very nice day.
Very crucial sa atin. Halos, dahil sa COVID, halos isang taon na dapat sana.
Oo nga, humaba na yung panahon.
1 year actually since the first case in China.
Yes.
You know, so, at least at this stage, alam nyo, the good news is that we have vaccines na lumalabas, di ba? Dami nag-test ng mga different medical companies and pharmaceuticals. And hopefully, in the very near future, we will have vaccines. You know,
Sana makontrol na, no?
Mabigyan ng control. Pero wag natin kakalimutan yung ating, siyempre, yung social distancing, wearing of masks.
The usual protocol.
The usual protocol kasi no matter what,
Staying safe.
it's still, the time it will take for the vaccines to be administered.
Oo. At saka,
Tagal yan.
may warning na nga, sana hindi daw magsiksikan sa mall.
Yes.
No? Kaya nga yung topic natin ay happiness. Para hindi nila isipin na sa mall yung happiness, kailangan mamili sila for Christmas, So, we're discussing what we can really give and what's the real happiness para hindi talaga tayo sisiksik sa mall.
Yes.
We
We'll try to give you the gift of happiness.
Yes.
Yeah, the spirit of Christmas.
Yes,
It's
the
all
real
about
spirit of
the real
Christmas.
spirit of Christmas is all about, the greatest gift.
Oh, yeah. The greatest happiness. The
It
greatest
means-
gift with the greatest happiness.
Diba? Kasi if you look back in history how Jesus was born.
Oh, yeah.
Simple, very
Very simple, very humble.
Oo, kung
He
sabihin
came
nga nila,
in quietly.
Impoverished,
Yes.
makakategorize na poverty-stricken yung situation.
Yung situation.
Yes,
Diba?
para siyang bakwit.
Oo.
Walang matuluyan.
Oh, yeah, right.
Diba?
no?
Like now, ang
But
dami
yet,
natin
But yet, his story was
ganyan
all about
situation.
distributing real happiness to everybody. And up to this very time of our life, almost 2,000 years, that same
more
message it has been etched in our hearts. The etch that will give us what is known as, or what was taught by him as eternal happiness.
It was a very great, momentous beginning, yung kanyang appearance. And basically, mga hari nga, mga leaders, bumisita pa sa kanya.
Yes.
Yes, so
The wise men.
And
such a great
there were all
happiness.
signs about the time that there was finally, because during those days, if you're aware of the story on how this whole thing took place and him appearing in this world, the people were really looking for somebody to give them a direction in
The
their life.
Messiah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were looking for
Savior.
leadership,
Yes.
Yes.
leadership. Yes. So I will share with them about our topic on happiness, and I have 4 items. QQDS, okay? Parang code 'yon. And basically, yung tinatawag natin when we talk about happiness, my first Q is actually quantity. Okay? Ang happiness, meron sasabihin natin ng quantity. The first category of how much happiness there is, material happiness, is compared sa books yan ng Vedic literature, dinidescribe yan, quantity of material happiness is like in the hoof print of a cow. cow. Pero i-compare na kasi baka yung sa city walang alam ko ano yung hoof print, no? How much water there is. Ito ay sabihin natin 1 cup. Okay, 1 cup water can fit, no? So yung material happiness is described to be 1 cup of water. The next one is like in a puddle. Pag meron tayong konting na ulan, tapos meron konting tubig dyan, in a puddle, ito ay happiness when people practice what you call being one with the white light, or yung sinasabi na people experiencing the peace of being merged in the white light or the light of the Lord, yung kanyang effulgence. That is 1 puddle. So, mas malaki sa 1 cup of water. Pero, kinompare ang spiritual happiness of loving the Supreme Person ay compared to an ocean. May dagat po kami dito sa aming kabila lang dito. Ocean ang happiness. So, from kung sabihin natin material happiness, 1 cup. Tapos, ocean, dagat ng kaligayahan.
Ang layo.
Quantity-wise, no? Hindi mo ilang tasa ng tubig yung nandyan sa ocean.
Hindi yata natin
Hindi na
ma-measure.
natin ma-measure. It's immeasurable. So, napakalaki po ng kaligayahan sa spiritual happiness.
Parang minsan if you look at the
So
sky,
talagang hindi sa mall mahahanap.
Ay, hindi. 1/4 cup lang yun. 1 drop lang yung nasa mall.
yung vastness ng sky compared to the ocean, hindi ba may
Yes.
ganyan yan eh. So,
Ang
you know,
layo talaga.
Yeah, it's like immeasurable.
Immeasurable. Kaya kung tayo naghahanap ng happiness, makikita po natin, laki nung gift, yung happiness na dinala ni Jesus Christ and other spiritual personalities. Tayo ini-encourage to go for a happiness in quantity that is so immeasurable, that is the spiritual happiness. So, yung susunod na Q natin ay quality. Yung quality ng material happiness po, marami dyan, but this material happiness, yung quality niya, may halong pait. Kumbaga, it begins sweet, pero it ends up mapait. Okay? Ends up bitter. So, yun ang quality po niya. Kaya, masasabi natin, kunyari, isang laruan, after a while, laruin nyo yung laruan na yon, pagdating, pangit
na.
Sira,
Hindi
nasisira.
lang masira.
Okay,
Oo.
daling masira. Mga disposable po. So, it's very,
Temporary.
kahit relationship,
Oo.
hindi ba yung mga relationship, bakit sabi nila nun, sa umpisa matamis, tapos
Oo, mamaya away na.
tapos
Hiwalay
pag
na.
matagal na, nagiging mapait po. That is the nature of material happiness. Yun po talaga ang quality niya.
So quantity, konti na nga. Mapait pa
Oo.
sa huli.
Kaya nga, ang ano naman natin ngayon, pag-usapan yung D, duration. Okay, ang duration ng material happiness ay sandali lang. Okay, kagaya nga sa laruan.
Depends.
Sa laruan, masaya, okay, tapos makita mo kahit bata tabi na lang yan
Oo.
Pagsasawaan yan ng bata. So, very short po yung duration ng happiness na matatamo sa mga material happiness. Kahit sabihin mo, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, after a while, sawang-sawa ka na. Okay? But in spiritual happiness po, ito ang happiness na panghabang, walang hanggan.
Walang hanggan.
Walang hanggan. Hindi ba may mga title?
Parang overflowing kang feeling mo. Ano?
Kung meron bang ano na ito ay forever, yun ang meron talagang forever na eternal. So, hindi lang hanggang ngayon, hanggang bukas, hanggang kailanman po yan, walang hanggan. So that is the duration of spiritual happiness forever. Tapos pag pinag-usapan po natin yung S. Okay, ano naman yung S? Yung source. Ang material happiness po, ang source natin ay mga material objects,
Oo.
hindi ba? But then as we said, this is very temporary. But yung source po ng ating happiness, which is coming from the Supreme Person. He is the source of all happiness. So if you want to connect with this source of permanent, forever happiness, ang kailangan po natin, mag-connect tayo dun sa source. Parang sa electricity, gusto mo ng kuryente, mag-connect ka dun sa source ng kuryente. Hindi hanggang outlet ka lang kakabit. No? Wala kang matatamo doon. So this is the source, and so we want to be connected to this the highest kind of happiness. So, you know.
Ano naman
You
kasi,
know,
like yung material things, hindi mo naman madadala, no? Pag paalis na
iwanan
tayo
talaga.
dito.
Pero kasi,
Oo.
in the truest sense, by nature, even our body, di ba, we give priority to our physical existence. But we all know, may hangganan yan.
Yes.
And then whatever the physicality of your existence is, we could always measure. Kasi sukatan eh. May sukat kasi palagi eh. May limitation, ibig sabihin ninyo. So, if you are, like many of us, our tendency is to be thinking of our existence today in this material condition as something somewhat of a permanency. This is what brings about parang our own struggle. How do we, kasi there would be fear, there would be uncertainties, and when things happen in our life, in pursuit of we are looking for true happiness, tapos may nangyayari bigla, which is sa buhay natin sa mundo na to, maraming ganun eh.
Always changing eh. Ang nangyayari.
Palit-palit, biglang hindi palaging guarantee na lahat masaya na lang palagi. At saka yung sukat ng saya, may may dualities kasi.
Kasama.
Kasama.
Kasama. May duality.
You know, kasi
It's
Material
never pure happiness. There's
Yeah.
always a little bit of
Distress.
Yeah.
distress. Kasi para ka maging masaya, ma-overcome mo yung distress eh. Na doon ang sukat ng happiness natin sa mundo na to.
Eh, meron nagsabi naman, kailangan mo maka-experience ng distress para daw malasahan mo yung tamis ng kaligayahan. Pero hindi ganun talaga yon. Hindi yung kailangan magdusa ka para ka maging maligaya. Meron talagang kaligayahan na walang dusa, walang distress,
Right.
you know.
which can only be found from the real source of happiness. So,
And because
kasi sa
also,
mundong ito, ganun nga eh. Medyo maghirap ka muna before you get happiness. Kung dito mo
Or
kukunin
minsan
yung
naman, puro
happiness
hirap
mo.
na lang.
Oo. Or minsan yung idea nilang happiness, yung natanggalan lang siya ng hirap. Which is really,
relief lang.
oo, relief lang.
Kasi
Oo.
conditional eh. Alalahanin nyo, no? Dito sa mundo natin, kung saan tayo nakatira ngayon, kung saan tayo temporarily, nakikita nyo yung disparity eh. Inequality ng mga existence ng tao. Di ba meron mga taong pinanganak na may sila,
May kapansanan. Oo.
Anong level ng happiness nila ngayon kung ganun ka? Eh dahil yung senses mo nandyan, pero
May
hindi mo-
disability.
May disability, hindi mo magamit ng husto. Eh kasi yun ang sa contemporary lifestyles ngayon, sa medyo mahaba na marami ng dekada, ang naging anyo ng ating society is always in pursuit of happiness in this world,
Yes.
which is very conditional.
Yes.
So ngayon, kung ikaw ay may alanganin ka, or nailagay ka sa sektor na halos, kumbaga, mahirap ang buhay, paano ang saya ngayon?
So, kaya nga, yung sinabi ni Tita Socorro, ang importante, di ba? You look for happiness from another source. Oo.
Sabihin nila kawawa ka.
Oo.
Hindi ba pag dito sa material world, sabihin nila kawawa naman yung mahihirap.
Oo.
Pero kawawa din yung mayayaman.
Oo.
Kasi yung feeling nila of lacking happiness na spiritual is natural for all.
Yes.
You know?
May emptiness kasi eh. May ganun palagi. Yung lungkot ng tao nandyan palagi. Eh ngayon, kung naghahanap ka talaga ng totoong saya, sa mundo na to, kaya nga conditional tayo rito eh. May limitasyon may fleeting ang tawag nila, it comes and go. Hindi siya permanent. Hindi siya tuloy-tuloy. Eh by nature tayo, we are eternal beings eh.
Yes. So we're looking for another source of happiness
Which
talaga.
is lasting.
Yes.
Which is natural for us.
Kasi we're eternal beings eh.
Oo.
We're made of, by nature, we're made of spirit, the spiritual energy. Diba? And we're not material, but material. This body we have is so limited. Limited lang yan. Number of breaths, number of years you would be in this world. Diba? and you're subjected to the changes that you go through sa buhay, starting from the time you were born until you get old, until you have to leave your body. And which is, there are many stages of transformation in your life that causes agitation sa buhay ng isang tao. Kaya, pagdating sa pleasure is a goal eh.
Yeah.
Natural.
It's natural for each
Natural
of
for us to
us
seek
to want
happiness.
pleasure. Oo.
That's why lahat ng bagay, hahanapin natin yung saya eh.
Oo.
Anything in kahit relasyon or anything, di ba, when you meet somebody na bago, you immediately start to think, I wonder how this person would be. Will I
Yeah.
enjoy this relationship or will I enjoy this friendship?
Yeah.
It's always based on something like that. That will this give me pleasure?
All right. So, given that pleasure is really our goal in life,
Yes.
all of us want to be happy, no? So, I put together just a few pointers to help us achieve this happiness, no? So, H is for health. All of us kasi, di ba sabi ng iba nga, health is wealth, and
Yes.
they equate wealth with happiness. no?
Yes.
If we are not healthy, then it's very hard for us also to feel happy because we can't do what we want to do. And then the pain and suffering and worry that comes with being sick is there. Yeah. So it's important to take care of our health. And another H is also harmony. We need to learn how to live in harmony with nature, with this world, but also with our neighbors, our family, everyone around us. Kasi pagka kontrabida tayo lagi, we will end up being alone. We will just get depressed and frustrated.
And harmony with God. Also.
Yes, definitely.
importantly,
That's the most important.
Kasi
no?
kasi how everything else works out, harmony and caring for others, it all begins with that.
Yes.
Harmony with the person who is constantly with you.
Yes. And
is your
harmony
constant
with our
companion.
identity as being spiritual. So our relationships should be on the spiritual level.
Yes.
Not that I'm your friend because you are rich, because you are famous, because maganda ka, di ba? Beautiful people are very much attractive, di ba? People want to be near them. Right? So then, A in happiness, A is for appreciation. Each of us has to learn that sense of appreciating what we have. No, let's be thankful for what we have. Let's say we are born, like Tito Toby is saying, you might have disability, but yet you have to look at what you do have. If there's something you can't do, maybe there's something else you can do, even better than those who have all of their senses intact.
Yes.
No, we've seen a lot of cases like this. Maybe yung tao hindi makalakad, and yet ang dami naman niyang alam, ang dami niyang nagagawa, ang dami niya pa rin natututunan.
Pero mapansin mo, yung mga taong appreciative talaga na grateful, masaya silang tao.
Yes,
Diba?
oo.
Thank you, yung
Yes.
ganon. Thank you, ang bait-bait mo naman. They are very positive, they're very,
Yes.
happy people.
Yes, that's why it's really part of being happy is learning appreciation. No? And I wanted to teach you one word, ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. No? When we are not violent, we are able to also appreciate, everybody. Non-violence comes with being happy, diba? When you're happy, you don't feel like
Satisfied from
hurting
within.
anybody. Oo, you have happiness within, and you share that also. And it's not that sometimes you have to commit violence, and there are people, it makes them happy to hurt somebody.
Yeah,
Diba?
mga sadista, masokista,
Oo.
mga lahat ng
Nowadays, nakikita
Oo.
niyo to, even in media,
Abusive.
you will see, you watch the news, and
Yung mga bashers,
the attraction
ganon,
is
diba?
always,
There's another kind.
di ba, minsan they'll show some type of violence to kind of get your attention.
Yes. Oo.
And it's in mainstream now. It's so mainstream in our society. Yeah.
Remember that attacking somebody, even with your words, that's also a form of violence.
Yes.
In fact, it hurts them so deeply, and it can stay there for a long
Sometimes, though,
time.
the issue with this, it backfires when you start seeing such things happening within always, because it numbs you.
Yes.
It
Oo.
makes you
Parang
insensitive.
akala mo okay lang yun.
It makes you insensitive to
Yes.
many of this.
Yes.
But, for those who see such a thing or read about it, actually for those who are very much feeling, kumbaga ano, they feeling that joy in their inside of them internally, but when they see something like that, it gives sadness ang
Yes.
feeling nila.
It also hurts their
Yeah,
feelings.
compassion kasi lumalabas yun
Yes.
eh. You know?
You don't want people to suffer.
Right.
So if you're violent, you are the causing,
Yeah.
you're causing suffering to
Yes.
others. Baliktad yun ng
Yes.
happiness,
Oo.
hindi ba? You will not be happy being violent or
Yes.
when you cause pain to other people.
Okay, so we have H, A, and then P. P is for prayer. You know, I always believe that if we start our day and end our day in prayer, then it sets us for happiness.
Yes.
You know, it's really, parang yun yung nagsisigurado
That
that
is-
we will be feeling
That is
happiness.
our connection with the source of happiness. So that
Exactly.
gives you happiness to be praying. hindi ba?
Yes. And also P is for patience. Because when we know, okay, there is a God who is loving us, then we don't, we don't feel like, when am I going to get this? When am I going to get that? I want it now. Yeah, we know, okay, wait, God is there. He's in control. Things shall happen in God's time, not in our time. It's not us who is going to direct or control these things.
This is where most of our frustrations happen.
Oh, kasi we want it now.
When we begin to be feeling that we're the doer and the controller.
Yes.
The
So that's
Lordship, I am the
Right.
Lord and
Yes.
Master.
Because this is always our situation where when we, kasi ganito yan, let's face it, the reality of how sometimes we're brought up by society, for you to be enjoying something or someone, you have to lay claim.
You have to own it.
Yes.
You have to
Right.
control it.
But yet,
You
how
have to
much
buy
of,
it?
right,
Oo.
how much of that is really, if you look at the whole situation, like even in the world that we live in, di ba? Pag may lupa ka, kunyari, kailangan hawak ko yung titulo.
Oh, kailangan may bakod.
So
May
this,
security guard.
right, so you can lay claim. But yet you will know that most of this, what you have, most of the different dynamics that brings about, that gives you the pleasure or enjoyment of having something, you need to have a healthy body to experience it.
No.
You need to have those. Let's say
And
a
you
person,
also need the time, ha?
yeah, let's say a person who is, ang dami mong ari-arian.
Oo. Di mo
Yeah.
naman mabisita lahat.
Even the point is, it's so hard to, let's say, when you're unhealthy,
Wala. Doesn't matter to you na how much land you have.
how much money you have.
Oo.
Inoffer sa'yo, okay, we have $1 million, but your body is not well.
Oo.
Di ba?
Or there's
No.
a pandemic.
There's a pandemic.
Oo.
You can't go out there. So, it shows its own limitations immediately sa buhay ng marami sa atin. So, it's important that we all have to see this fact. It's realistic. And if one is sensitive to the very existence that we have at the moment that is so temporary, and the limitations that we have and how much we are so uncontrolled, that we are not in control of things. And then the better we'll see things in a different viewpoint.
Yes.
Right? Then you'll seek knowledge and information to give you the right answers. Di ba?
Yes.
Okay, so we are in H, A, P. P, another P is peace. Peace and plant-based diet. They're connected kasi.
Sweet peas? Hindi. Yung
Hindi,
peas na.
peace, ma'am.
Peas.
Okay. Because, when you are on a plant-based diet, you're not committing any violence just to put food in your mouth.
Konektado yan
Right?
sa isa.
It's also connected to the ahimsa, that you don't be violent in any way. So you can feed your body with simply plant-based food, and this will make you actually a peaceful person. I was talking to one of our friends. He was vegetarian for 2 years, and then some or other he chomped on a hamburger, and that was it. He finished being plant-based. And then, now he's eating meat again. He was telling us, di ba, Papa, sabi niya, alam mo, napansin ko, mula nung bumalik ako sa eating meat, parang mainit na ang ulo ko, sabi niya. Dati, when he was on plant-based diet, he was more peaceful.
May explanation doon, scientific explanation, hindi
Siyempre.
ba yung mga...
Yes, the
The
phosphorus.
phosphorus.
Tsaka may hormones din.
Yes, the hormones.
Oh.
Okay.
But anyway, yung when it gets to this sort of peace is, alam mo,
It's lacking in this world. We need it
we need it
for
so much.
happiness.
Kasi tsaka sinabi nga di ba, yung ahimsa, being peaceful, and even in the commandments,
Thou shalt
Thou shalt
not
not kill.
kill.
Oo nga,
Okay.
yes.
hindi naman
yes.
sinabing thou should not
Teaching
kill
ni Jesus.
just the humans.
Yes.
Violence beget violence.
Yeah.
It is all the different living entities, whether they are in lower, in the lower species, they are also living beings
Yes.
that needs to be cared for,
They're also
that needs to
children
be
of
looked
God.
after. And if we are human beings, it only means that it is our responsibility not to commit violence towards them and to actually be caring and protecting for
Yeah.
them.
Para
So
naman
when you
may
talk
peace.
about peace, walang hangganan yun eh. Diba?
Okay, so we are in HAPP. I is for interaction. It's very important for us to have some interaction, some connectedness.
Connection, yes.
Yeah, with each other. Even in the time of COVID, we have to connect with others, right? Even if we have to use the internet for that. I is
Yes.
not for internet. Okay, it's connected.
Akala ng iba, internet.
It's for interconnected. That's kasi when we lose connection with each other, then we begin to feel very lonely, and then it really depresses us. Yeah, interaction also helps us. That's where we learn things from each other, right? And we learn to be thankful, and we learn to be giving.
Yes.
Right. So then N for the last part of our happiness. N is for nature. Let's not forget that we are also part of nature.
Kasi sabi mo connection.
Yes, connected with nature.
Interaction.
Yes.
Interaction. And yung harmony.
Yes.
Makakabit na yun,
All of
di
these
ba?
are connected to each other. So when we live in this world as part of nature, let's respect nature. Let's not fight nature. Sometimes we think we need to conquer nature instead of just going in harmony with nature.
Following the laws of
Yes,
nature.
natural laws.
Living with the laws. Oo.
Exactly. Okay,
And
then
that's why we're given standards.
Uh-huh.
It's not just based on morality. Kasi morals can change it.
Oo.
yeah,
quickly.
depending on your society.
Yeah, so it's always best to go more on a deeper standard or a higher standard of existence. Kasi if you follow a higher standards where the standard is based on service,
Yes.
service to our Father, service to fellow men, and those standards you have to work on that.
Yes.
And it's a lifestyle. Now, in contemporary lifestyle right now, so many decades since the industrial age came about, right? We're all basically in pursuit of sensual.
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 You know,
Yes.
sensuousness is the word.
Sensuous.
Okay?
Yes.
So, this is where we are lacking. If we pursue that, and then that's when the limitations begin, because the senses are always demanding
Oo.
for a different rush or a different experience.
Yes.
Okay, so after N we have E, which is like what you're explaining, exemplary existence. When we see ourselves as, in this world, there's so many people. When we do something, someone else might follow our example, right?
Right.
So we would like to be examples also. Sometimes even if you're a lola, you're an example to your grandchild, di ba? Pag nakita, bakit si lola ganun ang ginagawa? So, or as a parent, everything you do, somebody might follow. So let us
Even sa showbiz.
Exactly.
Hindi ba what
Especially
people
so
watch
showbiz.
on TV
Kasi they are
and
influencers.
social media,
Yes.
influencers.
They are influencers.
So, important yung being good examples.
Exactly.
Hindi ba?
Yes.
Meron din sinabi sa sa communication that what the child speaks he has heard from the home. Or
Yes.
sabi, dadagdag ko niya, he has heard from the internet or from,
Or from
the
friends.
TV or from
Oo.
friends. So, yung child, nag-e-echo siya kung ano yung
Yes.
naririnig niya.
Yeah.
So, we have to be careful.
Yes.
Kasi if we don't want a spokesperson na magsasalita kung ano, tapos narinig pala sa atin,
Oo.
edi definitely, we have to be careful about what we say in the first place.
Actually, what we say sometimes is not as important. It's not as strong an influence as what we do. So what we do, our
Yes.
actions are very important. Just like there's a country in this world, maybe the president doesn't want to wear a mask. So the others don't want to wear a mask. And then now, kalat yung COVID sa kanila. No, so let us all be good examples. And that will also make us happy because if we are good example, this good example will affect others and make them also
Oo.
live a better life and be
Kasi
happier.
the sign of a person who is a good example, ano kasi yan model of leadership.
Yes.
Kasi, and the leadership doesn't mean you have to be a person in a high position of government.
Oo.
Leadership is at home.
Exactly.
As parents, we lead our children. And one of the things sometimes our tendency is to, when we see a boy or a child is still quite young, di ba? Minsan pinababayaan natin yung naughtiness na lang niya. But you will find that even in many parenting books, not as early as 2 years old, di ba yung terrible twos lumalabas
Yes.
yung ugali. Saan nagaling yun?
Oo.
And many of us parents have the tendency to look at it as, that's just a naughtiness of that age. But the
Binabaliwala natin
binabaliwala nila.
minsan. Oo.
This is where we make a mistake. And then pagdating na ng teenage life nila, they also tend to think, kaya nga, a teenager pa, he doesn't take responsible. But yet, you will
Kailan
find...
natin tuturuan, di ba?
But
lagi
the key here is we have to be understanding and sober enough to understand, like, for example, di ba, may mga batas tayo ngayon that guides us how to behave. Now, but pagdating sa juveniles, yung age yung teenagers, either starting teenager or towards the end of their teenage life, we excuse them as teenagers, but engaging in activities that are sensuous or sensual in nature. We're letting that be, but yet we're not holding them responsible. But as adults, we have to act responsibly. But the point I'm getting at on this one is, a responsible parent from the very beginning understands very well that as a child, if I have a child, real happiness doesn't lie on being naughty or having things, learning to do child's play around and developing this taste for material objects from the very start. And then material relationship, the basis of that is if you don't agree on or let's just let the child be, let him, yung kumbaga his childhood innocence, let him just be happy and playful. But you will find sometimes may makikita kayo, oops, saan galing yun?
Oo.
But when a responsible parent is there, ang gagawin niya just as a responsible leader, would know what brings about misery and distress to individuals or to the nation, meaning the people. So, learning to set standards, not just based on morality, but based on a higher standard of living in service. And how can I continue such service?
Yes.
Di ba?
Yes, actually, that was my last S in happiness. We have service, selfless service, and simplicity, serenity, satisfaction. Maraming S. Yeah, because when you are, let's say you live a simple life, then it's easy for you to have some satisfaction. You're not always yearning for more, right? And then because you are satisfied, then you're feeling happy, you're serene, you're not agitated, right? And because you are happy, you want to share that happiness to others.
When you about simplicity in this person who lives who embraces this way of life, this standard. Simplicity is not just based yung kakaunti yung aking gamit. No.
Japanese
It is
style.
not. It is not being frugal.
It's more of internal simplicity.
Yes. Kasi meron mga tao who are gifted with so many, kumbaga may yaman sila or may kakayahan sila, may galing sila.
Skillful, talented.
Ang sukatan, pag sinabing simplicity, ang isang tao who's got that simplicity he's embraced simplicity in his lifestyle. We do always see that all of what he has, he knows the origin of it, and it is not the owner.
Yes.
So he uses this as an opportunity of service. And that becomes his relationship. And it's not like, kunyari, I have an occupation, ganito ako kagaling, leader ako ganito. Kung ginamit ko yung abilidad na yon at yung galing na yon in service for a higher purpose, to glorify the Lord in our heart or our Father, walang hangganan ngayon yung kakayahan mo at ang ibibigay mo. Naging medium ka ngayon. Right? Ikaw na yung medium. Lahat ng may pasa sa'yo, ay chance ako pala ito, may offer ulit sa kanya. Diba? So, nagiging glorification ngayon yung actions mo.
Yes.
So, it doesn't become more of self-service, but it's for the glorification of the source of all happiness.
Kasi ang problema sa mundo yung pag may selfish people, hindi
Yes.
ba? Yun ang nag-create ng mga problems eh. You know, they're very exploitive, they use things to abuse people and
abuse nature.
abuse nature.
I have land, I want more land, I will take part of the river.
Well, if you had
I
people
know.
who were sinasabi nga selfless, no?
Yes.
Yung serving others, di maraming matutulungan. Maraming mag-benefit by their presence, by their work. Maraming tao mas magiging uplifted from their conditions if we had such selfless people. Hindi
And
ba?
it's also like those who are in this consciousness bring about goodness
Right.
and the
And
goodness.
happiness all.
Yes, kasi without that, you see, ang concern mo kunyari, today, this past month, we have been experiencing yung natural disaster naman sa ating bayan. And marami talagang
Sunod-sunod.
na-disrupt ang mga buhay, milyones na tao. And then, hinaharap pa rin natin yung effect, yung impact nun. May time factor pa yan Tapos nasabayan pa tayo ng pandemya. So it's so difficult to find a balance to bring about. Kasi tayo, ang naging source ng pleasure natin or we pursued economic development would be the one that will grieve us. That guarantee that we will be happy.
Or so we thought. Wala.
But this is not the situation.
Learning talaga.
Yes.
Lessons learned this pandemic.
Yeah, ang dami niyan.
What the real happiness is, you know, how to really live, you know,
Yes.
with nature. Talagang ano
Yeah,
ito.
it's respect because you understand truly who is the owner and controller of everything. Now, when you recognize that, that means I'm so much part of that. Somebody is in control of my life. It is not me. Kasi ito sa totohanan lang, how much control do we have?
Yeah, I think during this COVID time, we should have learned talagang hindi tayong controller.
Kaya nga, a life of prayer all the time and meditation is
A
so
life of
important.
surrender.
Yes.
Surrender.
to the supreme.
Surrender. Let us go
Yeah.
with the flow of how...
For example, dami nga, may kausap ako dito sa mental health program ng Pilipinas.
Oo.
Sabi ko, alam nyo, ang lunas, nasa atin na We refuse to see the reality.
Yes.
We refuse to seek.
In denial pa tayo.
And these are situations in our life. If we go through such experience, what do you do? Kadalasan, it takes, let's say, a struggle in a person's life before he wakes up.
Oo.
That I would seek,
Medyo slow
shelter.
learner tayo yata.
that we have already been given. Binigay na sa atin lahat yan. In our lives, by nature, as spirit, we are eternal. But when we are covered by this temporary condition of life, being in the material world, we are subjected by the conditioning of the world we live in. Okay? And that affects our very being. So that's why when Jesus Christ appeared, he was showing everybody this is the way. The way, the truth, and the light.
Yes.
He made that statement.
This is the way to happiness.
This is the way to happiness. At dito ang liwanag.
Yes.
Ngayon, kung nandiyan kayo sa temporary material world, the material condition of life, you are in darkness. You are in darkness. You don't see the truth.
Darkness and unhappiness.
Konektado yun eh. So, yung pag sinabi mo rin darkness, parang it's also related sa ignorance. Yung ating knowledge
Parang dumidilim yung
at
paningin.
understanding natin is very
Kita.
limited.
Don't see the light.
You don't see the light eh.
Oo.
And many of us, the tendency is we're subjected by this. And we always think we're trying to get control of things, but yet we're being subjected by these different parang unseen forces happening in our life. May mga ganyan yan eh. For as long as there is no truth to your existence, then you'll be forced upon to act in this way and affected by all the different conditioning that this world will have upon you.
Eh, yung conditioning matindi. Yung mga advertising,
Oo,
tapos
relentless.
pressure from relatives, kailangan kumita ka, kailangan
No, even
ka. It's
society.
so much.
Society
You know?
would say you have to pursue, be successful economically.
Yeah.
You have to be, you know.
Have
alam niyo,
more and
nung
more and more.
appear si Hesus Kristo, hindi naman siya namili kung sino yung masisave eh.
Oo.
Sabi pa nga niya, it's harder for the rich man to enter the kingdom
Sabi
of God.
nga niya,
Diba?
iwanan mo yung mga
Oo,
kung ano-ano
leave
mga-
them, come with me.
Eh,
Ganun siya.
Siyempre, ang isang tao na medyo kulang sa kaalaman, parang matatakot siya. Ba't ko iiwanan lahat ng aking tinrabaho? at
If he
pinaghirapan?
thinks that's what will make him
Oo.
happy, hindi niya
Hindi, ngayon,
hindi
pangalawa,
Bitawan.
hindi naman talaga yung iwanan mo as in drop everything and get rid of it, but iwanan mo yung lordship mo dyan
Yeah,
at
feeling I
gamitin,
own it.
yeah,
Oo.
gamitin mo sa service of the Supreme, you know. So, it's relinquishing ownership, yung
Our idea
the
of
and
ownership.
control.
oo, and
Trying to take control.
oo.
And the truth is that the great saintly persons, the devotee of God who appeared, you know, and who we will remember
Yes.
again. Alam mo, siya yung example eh. Siya yung nagpakita eh. You know, there's happiness more than what this world is going to offer you. You are subjected by so much in this world. But you can live a life untouched by it.
Yes.
You know, untouched by the worldliness of your environment and surroundings. So sa ating mga tagapakinig, sa ating mga naging kasamahan at aming mga naging bisita, di ba, our guests for this past year, una sabihin ko, sana sa Disyembre, alam nyo, simplify everything.
Yes.
It's all about prayer. It's all about strengthening that connection sa ating totoong Ama. Yeah. And then, make it so that instead of being so worried about everything else, the COVID is there, don't worry about whether you're going to be able to have gifts or buy gifts. Forget about that. The best gift is the gift for prayer. Sharing prayer, sharing meditation amongst one another that uplifts people's hearts and minds.
Sharing love.
Sharing all this love. Kasi sa panahon na ganito, we remember the great saintly persons and the devotee of God, Jesus Christ, who appeared in this world. And what did He expound and preach? What did He give us? He showed us what is true eternal life. And with eternal life is true happiness. The nature of the Spirit is always feels blissful. There's bliss in his life. And because it's a life of service.
Yes.
And then he feels his eternality. That means he feels his true connection with our true Father. Yeah. And then he has knowledge. Meron siyang kaalaman
Wisdom.
and wisdom.
And he has passed it on through the years.
Yes.
That up to this time, people read his words and read about his life and they are inspired.
Yes.
So it's something that, you know, lasts so long and you can pass it on.
It's as eternal as his message.
And you know, whether we are living in this material world temporarily, we can already experience our true eternality.
Yes.
That's the gift of this human life. Not just make life centered around senselessness, but use this human life to cultivate, right? To enhance our love for God. And see it as the matchless gift. All of the saintly persons that appear lahat ng dumadating natuturuan tayo, yung mga scripture, di ba? Yung ating spiritual teachers that will appear in our midst, all of them have given us this chance to live our true life while even in this world. Sa ating mga tagapakinig, marami pong salamat sa inyo.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you. You know, there's only a few weeks more to Christmas. I hope that we all get our hearts ready to accept the gift of love and happiness that Jesus is going to give us. Is always giving us, actually.
So that we all can be happy now and every day of our life, even after Christmas, every day can be a Christmas because we can all experience this kind of happiness that Jesus Christ taught us.
okay, maraming pong salamat sa
Thank
inyong
you.
lahat. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Wow, much in line with what we were talking about the rest of earlier, no, in the show and the segments and what was shared by our callers. Tito Toby, Tita Socorro, and Tita Marisa were able to put that into perspective, especially by discussing the role model for true and lasting happiness, Jesus. No, that's the real
Yes.
focus of this season. No, not the gift giving. Gifts are nice, but ano yan, temporary happiness yan.
Yeah, tama yung sinabi mo,
What do you
Jai.
think, Ate Chan?
Temporary happiness yan. Let's be more concerned about the lasting kind of happiness that they talked about and that
Right.
Jesus is also giving to us so freely.
Mhm. Right. I'd like to greet our listeners na kanina pang nakatune in. Liz Resurrection, Thomas Strakener, Angel Gonzalo, Gino Mabalot, Yogi or Logi Padilla from San Pedro, Laguna, and Mary Salazar. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. Ate Chan, unless may babatiin ka, we'll
Yes,
go to
let's
break.
go to break.
All right, let's take a quick break, Tech, before we proceed to our next segment, the good food. See you in a bit.
Pangkalikasan, Gopalakas.
Magbabalik ang Go Palakas! Go Palakas! Dito lang yan sa V81 Radio Worldwide. Despite all of the challenges this year, today is time to be thankful. Remember the good times and embrace those who enrich our lives. We are thankful for a lot of things, but most of all, we are thankful for you. May you stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Happy Thanksgiving from V81 Radio Worldwide. Balikan na natin ang Go Palakas! Go Palakas! Dito lang yan sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Alright, we're back.
Hi.
Nandiyan na ba ang ating main anchor? Oh, anyari?
Medyo nawala. Medyo maulan ngayon dito sa ating lugar. Magbabalita ba tayo? So anyway, welcome back po sa ating show ngayong umaga. And yun nga po, napakaganda po ng ating natalakay mula sa ating first segment. No? Napakaraming experience. Tunay na kaligayahan. Sorry,
Alright.
nawala yata ako.
Medyo naputol ka doon, Gaur.
So
Tinuloy
anyway,
naman
yun
ni
nga po.
Jai. Let's greet a few more viewers, Attorney
Go ahead.
and DJ Gaur. So Mila Celeste says, salamat sa maagang pamasko ng mga taga Gopalakas. And
po,
we
ma'am.
have Marco Alquiros saying, still here.
Kaibigan
Hello,
ko yan.
we can see you.
What up, Marco?
Okay
Thank you for tuning in. Chef yan, chef din yan. May chef na tumawag
Wow.
kanina, Marco. Dapat next
Oh,
time tumawag ka
nice.
na yan.
Next time.
Oh.
So anyway, ayan po gaya ng isa sa ating mga caller na si Chef Lali. Ayan, magbabahagi tayo ng ilang recipes mula sa ating mga in-house chefs na sila Ate Chris and Nimay. Ayan, so
Alright.
ating pagsaluhan at ating panoorin. Malamang meron din silang regalo para sa atin. Let's
Next.
go.
welcome back to another episode of The Good Food. I'm Nimai.
And I'm Chris. So today we're going to show you how to make vegan mashed potatoes with,
We'll be topping it off with mushroom gravy.
yeah, you know how Christmas is, right? Means that
Busy.
it's so stressful for a lot of moms. Most of the time they're just spending like a big chunk of their time in the kitchen.
Preparing food.
Yeah, and they miss out on a lot of activities, time with family.
So with this one, both recipes can be done ahead of time. Yeah, so you don't have to do it on the day itself.
But yes, you can do it ahead of time, definitely. So I'm gonna show you first how to make the vegan mashed potatoes. Now what I have here are potatoes that have been sliced and cooked already. I've sliced it and boiled it in salted water, so may taste na siya. Now while it's hot, use a potato masher, or if you don't have one, you can definitely use a fork. So you just have to mash it.
Try
together.
to make it as
Try
creamy, diba?
to make it as smooth as you can. Yeah.
Diba, Chris, you can also use sweet potatoes, mix of potatoes and sweet potatoes.
Yes, you can do a mix of like what she said, sweet potatoes, kamote,
Yeah.
or actually pwede rin kahit pure na sweet potatoes. Sweet potato mash is
Yeah, it's also
really good also, and it's nice and sweet, yeah?
While you're doing that, I'll turn this on already.
Yes. So I have this. So how you make the traditional mashed potatoes, they use butter.
Yeah.
In this
Lots
case,
of
we're gonna
butter.
use extra virgin olive oil. Just put a few, mix it, and then let's instead of milk, we're gonna use soy milk.
Ang dami ng soy milk ngayon sa grocery.
Yes.
It's easy to find already.
Yeah.
So this is plain.
This is plain soy milk. If you can find unsweetened, then that's better. But if it's sweetened, okay lang din. So look, as you look, you can see that it's giving it this creamy texture na. Yeah. Now all we need to do is salt it. Your salt, some pepper.
Wow, bilis na.
Yeah, bilis lang. And with mashed potatoes, you have to keep it warm. If you're gonna make it ahead, like if you make it in the morning and you're gonna serve it for lunch, make sure to keep it warm. So that's it. We're gonna cover it and proceed to your gravy. Let's lower this a little bit.
So, these are the ingredients. Don't worry, we'll be posting it on the screen.
Yes.
So, we have oil, garlic, onion, soy sauce, flour, black pepper, just extra water. And this is mushroom broth from my shiitake mushroom. Pag wala lang broth, just use regular water. Mas masarap lang kasi yung mushroom water.
And also you can make broth with scraps of vegetable peelings, and
Cabbage,
stuff.
carrots,
Yeah, just boil it.
Yeah. So we don't need a lot anyway. So, and of course, the mushroom. So let's start with the oil. Warming pan.
Okay.
Just enough to swirl it around. Okay, I think it's a bit too hot. Let's turn it off na.
And yung mushrooms, this one's
This
button
is-
mushrooms,
Yes,
nakakan.
canned, yeah. Madaling hanapin yung mushroom. I'll start with the mushroom because I want it a bit round. Okay, just watch out because canned mushrooms are very wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay. You can also do a mixture of button mushrooms and shiitake.
masarap din
Or
yan.
pwede rin shiitake lang din.
Yeah. Or kung wala talaga, I guess oyster, but you have to make it umay. Yeah. So there.
So ito, you're gonna have to brown it first.
Yeah, a little bit lang. Oops. Watch out for that.
Yeah. So the usual gravy kasi it has butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually people kasi buy that yung mix ng gravy, but it's actually very easy to make. I'm surprised
Yeah.
that, it's if you can buy a mix. Madali lang gawin. People think it's complicated, but actually hindi.
You can finish it in like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Saka you know what goes into it pa.
Yeah.
Walang preservatives or additives. Yeah.
Walang MSG.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think we can add in the garlic.
Garlic.
Sabi nila, the more the merrier. Garlic. Kasi some kids, diba, they don't like it masyado.
Oh, for others pala who don't, kasi you know, like your kid, yeah, he doesn't like mushrooms.
Yeah, he doesn't like mushrooms.
What can they use?
Other mock meats.
Oh yeah, mock meats, pwedeng, because now you can buy veggie ham. Even the patties, yeah?
Yeah.
Like patties with gravy goes well talaga.
Hindi man kailangan mushroom lagi.
Oo.
Okay, so let's just wait a bit. I'm gonna prepare na my other ingredients here.
So you have soy sauce. You're
Yeah,
using
soy
soy sauce. Yeah. This is simple. This is quite simple, yeah.
Yeah.
This one, like you said, you can make it ahead of time.
Yeah. And then when it's when you have it in the fridge already, you're gonna use it the next day. You just warm it up. Yeah. Add a little bit of water because it's gonna be really thick.
Yeah.
So I think now I can add some flour. Just sprinkle it. Don't worry, it's not gonna lump. Because once we put in the liquid, it's going to dissolve it.
Yeah. And the flour is what's gonna make it thick.
Yes.
It's better to use flour than cornstarch.
Yeah.
Actually, when you make the white sauce also, you use flour then,
Yeah.
to make the roux.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
cool.
now I think I can add in my
Soy sauce. So any soy sauce, yeah?
yeah. And then
Smells
You
good
like that?
already. Your broth?
Yes.
Yung broth niya, the way she did it, she just soaked dried shiitake
Shiitake,
mushrooms. And then, pag
Fire
na-rehydrate na yun, magiging all the taste of the mushrooms will go to the water.
Yeah, you want that. Don't throw that away. Ano yan?
Yeah,
Very, very important. Don't throw away your mushroom water.
Yeah,
Very
that
mabilis
mushroom
lang, no?
water, I use it also for like ramen.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead
Save
of just
it.
boiling the noodles in water.
I think we can add more.
Here,
water.
see? You can see it's
Thickening
thickening up.
Now, we can add in our black pepper. You don't like the black pepper? Okay lang din. Bilis lang, oh.
Oo nga.
So, you don't need to buy the mix.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait.
Homemade is always best.
Yes.
At least you know what goes in. And pag mga iba kasi, there's a lot of people that are allergic to mushrooms
Yeah.
also.
My mom is allergic to mushrooms.
Yeah.
You don't have to use mushroom.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this
looks
is
good.
good. Turn it off na. See, it's thick na.
Okay, see how fast that was? So now we're gonna plate it. So here's our creamy mashed potatoes. We're gonna put it in a bowl. Now with this mash, this is like the base, yeah? If you wanna make shepherd's pie,
Ito rin.
ito lang. Use the same recipe. There.
Okay. Add in our... Stop it off with some mushroom.
Wow, look at that. Actually, it's a complete meal na talaga.
Actually, hindi kailangan pang Christmas. If you wanna go and prepare it
Yeah.
today, go ahead. You don't have to wait for Christmas. There you go.
Yung mga
we'll
iba na
add
they
in-
don't eat rice. Yeah. Just go ahead and make this.
Yung peas,
Oh,
Chris,
this
ano,
one,
what did you do
this
with
one pala, I blanched it. These are frozen peas. If you can
na.
get it in the grocery store. So actually,
Frozen, no?
sa frozen section. If you check the frozen section, actually meron silang plain peas, meron mixed with carrots,
and
or
corn.
corn.
Yeah.
You can definitely use that. You can even grill some corn on the side and add it to this.
So there you have it. Very easy.
Very
Chris
easy.
and I did it in how many minutes na ba yun, Chris? 6-7 minutes.
Yes.
And definitely you can do this at home.
Yeah. So, I hope you do this at home for Christmas or for whenever.
Yes, if you want to impress your family. Mashed potato with mushroom gravy.
Yes.
So I guess that's it for today.
That's
Thank
it.
you for joining us. Once again, this is The Good Food. I'm Mimay.
And I'm Chris. Thank you for watching. See you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.
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 Hala, minute ako ni Tek kasi nagbabay ako. Pero sarap.
Bye, send that
Sarap, ang
over.
sarap, ang
Oo nga
sarap.
eh.
Send it over here.
Pero may nag-comment na kaibigan, rice na lang daw instead of mashed potato.
Pwede rin.
Yes.
Wala namang restriction.
Pinoy na
Wala namang
Pinoy.
restriction tayo, guys. So kung ano sa tingin niyo ang pwede niyong gawin sa ating na inihain sa atin ng ating mga segment host, pwede nating gawin 'yan. So meron pa ba kayo nais batiin?
Si Chef Marco kanina pa nagsasabi na gagawa daw siya ng vegetarian menu. Nako, marami akong taste testers dyan. Kasama na. I-test namin live on stream. De, joke lang. Alright, ano na segment natin ngayon?
Feature na yan, attorney.
Naman.
So yun, syempre yung ating inaantay, so alam mo naman sa ating show palagi meron tayong music meditation na siyang na-apply ng ating isa sa mga tinawagan na si Raymond, di ba? So bilang practice talaga natin sa ating programa, syempre gusto natin to i-offer palagi sa ating mga audience, magaganap na to ngayon sa ating ika-4 na segment. Ayan.
Alright.
Punong kaligayahan tong natin, episode na to. Ayan. So, wag na natin patagalin, Ate Chandra and Attorney Jai. Tawagin na po natin si Sir Manu ng Music Meditation PH.
Alright.
Thank you. Hello po. Welcome to Music Meditation. Ako po si Manu. Sana okay lang kayo lahat. And thank you once again for joining us and tuning in for some music meditation. Pinag-usapan ulit natin ang happiness. And you probably heard us mention before na ang happiness ay natural sa atin lahat. And totoo po yan, kaya nga natin ginagawa yung mga iba't ibang gawain kasi ultimately gusto natin maging masaya. Walang gustong maging malungkot. Pero sometimes dahil sa mga iba't ibang impluensya, tayo nako-contaminate at nako-cover up. Therefore, itong natural state natin to be happy ay hindi nagmamanifest. Pero sa pamamagitan ng pagsambit at pagkanta nitong mga healing sounds, sa pag-engage sa music meditation, gradually tayo na purify. Itong covering na to ay nawawash away and it enables us to experience the happiness that we are all searching for. So please join us in some music meditation before we end the show.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Attorney Jai. Thank you, DJ Gaur. Thank you, Chandra. Also, maraming salamat sa Gopalakas. Mga kaibigan, stay safe, stay healthy, and hanggang sa muli, magkita uli tayo. Bye!
Ayan, nakatayo na ako. Hindi na ako umupo. So anyway, thank you rin Sir Manu sa opportunity na yun na makasama kami sa iyong Music Med. No? Lahat tayo, pati yung ating tech na si Tech Miguel, sinamahan tayo. Maraming salamat, Tech Miguel. The best yun.
Yeah.
I think that's the best ano rin, no? That's the best example of what music meditation is.
Yes.
Kahit sino, kahit saan, pwede kayong sumali. Huwag kayong mahiya. Kung konti mang asintonado, walang problema. What matters
Sabi
is
ni Tech Miguel na maos daw siya.
Right. So I think that's the perfect way to cap off, you know, our show for the rest of the year.
Yes.
We saved this announcement until the last episode, but this is the last show that we'll be having with this format. But don't worry, we will be back soon with a different format, no? Kaya sinama na namin si Tech Miguel, syempre para makisali sa party. Kung ano, maliit na party yan with the music meditation party na. Anything else, Gord?
Ate Chandra, meron ka pang gustong sabihin last word sa ating mga mga
Hindi
viewers
naman.
and listeners?
Just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in and staying with us today and also for the rest of the year. Actually, we started in January of this year, no? So it's such a nice way to close off the year, and I wish everybody a very merry season. And let's not forget the real reason.
Ano pa? Pwede ka na mag-rap, ate. Merry season. And not forget the reason.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to cap off the show. Wala tayong dadagdag.
Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat, sa ating mga viewers and listeners. Siyempre, nais ko rin yung opportunity na magpasalamat sa V81 Radio for having us, for having this opportunity to share what we have learned, especially kila Tito Toby. Napakarami nilang naiambag sa ating buhay, especially this pandemic, diba? Sobrang daming napaka-practical, napaka-simple, pero sobrang ganda ng effect nito sa ating buhay.
Tama.
So maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Huwag kayong mag-aalala. Magpo-post tayo ng mga content sa ating Facebook page. So kung hindi pa kayo nakakapag-like, iniimbitahan namin kayong mag-like sa ating Facebook page.
And most importantly, we would like to thank the viewers. Viewers and listeners. Especially those who have stuck with us since episode 1. Thank you for supporting the show.
Thank you so
much.
Grabe.
We hope that you continue to support the show in the future.
Yes. So, wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Magpasalamat na tayo sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much. Magkita-kita po tayo muli. Mag-ingat kayo palagi and peace. Gopalakas.
Watch out!
Bye-bye.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, Gopalakas.
Pangkalusugan at pangkalikasan, samahan si Atty. Jai at DJ Gaur sa pagpapaunlad ng kalusugan sa katawan, isipan at espiritual. Go Palakas! Go Palakas! Pangkalusugan at pangkalikasan tuwing Sabado, 10 a.m. Philippine Time. Dito lang yan sa V81 Radio Worldwide. Walang kasing saya ang Paskong Pinoy. Dumaan man ang problema at pandemya, kayang-kayang lampasan. Basta't nagdadamayan at nagmamahalan.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Tuloy na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko dito sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy.